はい、お願いします。
お願いします。
Right. Let's try a little bit loosening off. Working on the vertical. In the arms nice and loose. And just working on keeping the spine nice and long. And sinking the weight into the ground. Yep. And then just letting the movement come to the front and back. Kind of moving from the chest area, so create a little bit of movement here. So just playing a little bit with the idea of the balance shifting as well, so let the weight of the body come backwards and forwards. Just listen to what happens with the body when you just slightly come out of the base, forwards and back. Okay, good. And then going side to side. This way. And just play with mobilizing this area so a little bit lower into the ribs. Just try and create some movement. And keeping the arms loose, just let them kind of drag the body side to side. And feeling the weight really shift into one side, into one leg, and then across. Good. Okay, we're going to go rotation. Just letting the arms, the body. Because you feel a sense of a spiral moving into the ground and also raising up as well, keeping the spine nice and long. And you're working on a wave through the spine. And you can also think of this as really a closing movement down, and into the pelvis, hips, knees, everything comes down, and then opening out. It's really movement working on the inside, moving from inside to outside in the body, opening out. Okay, and then from here, just letting the weight drain down, letting the arms really be loose. Okay, and then just gently letting the arms raise and lower. So just see, especially in this case, to let the head release, neck's nice and loose. Slightly bouncing the arms. And feel the movement really come from the lower body. Let the movement come up and down the spine. And then just gently letting the arms swing a little bit to the legs and a little bit out to the front. You can just feel the balance in the body. Movement and the impulses coming from the ground. Lower body nice and heavy, and the upper body really relaxed. And then very gently swing to the sides, letting the arms slightly cross. And swing to the sides. Really getting an idea of where the arms connect into the back. And then last one here, just work in circles with the arms. And very slowly, start to work the body up, little by little, bringing it up and down. And just let the arms start to come out. And when you've got up, just let the arms raise up through the body. And a little bit of a weight as the arms come down, just let the weight sink down. Keep the knees and ankles nice and loose. Yeah. And then just taking this into a full vertical movement, just let the arms really swing down. So there's two key points, the swing down and the raise up. Both of them just really have a sense of the ground being underneath the movement. So when you raise up, have the feeling of the arms minimally held up and then just really heavy into the ground. Feeling the weight drain right through the body. And you can make this as big as you like. Make it dynamic all the way to the ground. Must be quite a small movement. That's it. Good. Keep going. Good. Good. And one area just to pay attention with, especially we're going into sword work, so especially when you drop the body, just listen to what's happening in the neck. One thing you want to avoid is splitting the body, something like this. So don't worry about keeping the vision out. We're kind of trying to look forward, create this kind of split in the spines, but also don't allow the spine to just kind of drop through. So just think about a length through the body. So if you imagine a kind of string that's pulling up through the hips into the head, just keep it nice and you go. So just listen to what's happening in these 2 points. When you raise up, you don't have to be kind of crunching into the neck. And when you swing down, you don't want to be kind of splitting. So just keeping that length. So nice sense of extension through the whole movement. You get a sense that their head's right on top of the spine. Great. That's it. Good, good, good. That's it, right. Good, and we're going to side to side, so keeping the feet where they are. Again, keep a sense of weight in the arms when you raise them out to the side. Keep a sense of weight. They're just being held up minimally, and then let the movement spiral into the ground, heavy in the arms, and then releasing it. Just think of a gentle spiral that's going to go into the hip, and just twisting in and out of the ground. First, you just hold this position a little bit, and then drop it in. Find that position. Drop it in. And just really being aware of the length in the spine. Try not to crunch anything, kind of throw anything out. Keeping long. And trying to feel the axis of the body right from the center. Great. And once you feel comfortable with it, just start to make it a little bit looser. So the arms, you can also experiment with sending the arms not to the shoulder, but to another part of the body as well. So you can keep them low, but just keep this feeling of the weight constantly being underneath the arm. You have an idea that the hips driving the movement. So really send the hand with the hip. And just play a little bit with it. Okay, then the last one's for the shoulders. So it's really about working the shoulders front and back. So allowing the chest to really open out and the hands to work in opposite directions. And just keep a little bit of the movements dropping down. And again, feel these 2 points. The raising of the arms is done from the ground, and the sinking down is just here. And let the spine really move through these 2 blades, side to side. And get the shoulders nice and free. That's good. Yeah, and just watch for this one, especially because it's quite complicated and there's two things happening. It's kind of splitting the body. So just watch, especially now the spine. Just watch for these kind of movements where the spine starts kind of rock through the movement. So if you feel these kind of movements happening, again, feel the weight in the body drawing down and just go to this movement. So you don't want the body to start to pull out with the shoulders. You just want the body to have this kind of feeling. And it's the feeling of sending the hand out. Sending the hand out. But you're going to send it out from a really stable position. But just work from here. And then you just open it out, send the hands a little bit further, and then they just come back around the head. But the key is, again, keeping the central axis nice and clear. Again, just play with it a little bit, sending the arms. You can do both directions. So. Okay, so you've got these three exercises, which the first one's this kind of vertical swing. The second is working with it's like twist in the form. And then this third one's working with this nice circular movement. So just play within these three. And again, just play with the connection to the arm. And you can work with one side, you can work with both. Again, the idea is really keep the weight down and let the limb be very supple. So you want something very flexible in the whole joint of the arm. Just play a little bit with it, nice and loose. So that you're really sending the hand out, sending it out. That's it. Good. Good. Yeah, great. Okay, great. No, that's so nice. Okay, great. Take a bokken. Okay, good. So again, we'll just work from this kamae position. So keeping the feet together, just the heels touching gently at the back, toes a little bit wedged out, swords at the left-hand side, and then just come into the kamae and just anchoring it in to the body. Okay, let it settle into the body and then just come back. Cycling between these two positions, nice and simple. Really take your time and feel nice and balanced. All the movement coordinated from the center of the body. So, good. Okay, and then just from here, nice small movements. Just what you're checking really is the connection into the tip of the sword through the hands and the hips. So if you imagine a line from the hips to the hands into the sword, you just want to really start to feel that it's really connecting in. So you've got a kind of thick connection with the sword. Just play with it, very slight movements in the hip, and you just see it reflecting out in the tip of the sword. And if you feel that you're kind of here in this kind of position, this kind of connection will be quite weak in a way. So just finding the right amount of extension. There. Just gentle movement. Just feel that move in the same way that you would move the hand. There. There. That's it. Good. That's it. Yeah, good. Yeah, and there's a kind of general guide for it. If you take the command, if you were to look in a mirror or if you're looking to the screen, you want the sword to be round about the center, round about the belly button here with the pommel, and the tip of the sword's kind of pointing up towards the throat area. So it's around about this kind of angle. So you don't want something that's too low, and you don't want to be too high with the top, with the hands at the base of the sword. So just let it kind of sit into it. Just that kind of feeling. So there's a slight angle into it, and you'll also see there's also a slight angle from the sword here, so it's not a fully straight position here, and that's really because the hips are wedged off. So the hips kind of triangular. That movement just passes into the sword. So just play with that again. Just get in the right kind of height with it. Not too high, not too low, not too far outstretched. And also play with the feet as well, so you don't be too wide in the feet, but also don't be too narrow. So there's something in between where you just let the weight sit, and you want the knees to be nice and relaxed, sense of springiness in them, and the ankles also nice and loose. There. Just play a little bit with movement as well with the feet. Just bring in the sword with you. Everything's stretched out to the front. Try not to meet it with a feeling from the back of the body. So really draw the sword in from the back. This way. Yeah, there we go. Good. Good. Great. Good. Okay, good. So we're going to the first Suburi. So just take your time with it. Really do one at a time. So what you're going to do is find the back with the sword, drop in this position. So you've got the cutting position, engage it, and then just let yourself come in back into the kamae. So you've got a nice rest between. And again, keep the spine long. You know, these three positions. Find in the back, engaging through the cut, and drawing back. Again, really it's about the connection from the lower body, especially the hips, into the sword, and coming back. Really take your time in each position. Feel nice and balanced in each one. There we go. Okay, in this case, just go into the basics. So you're going to cut in and then come up to the back. Cut in, come up to the back. So you really want to feel now that you're really cutting into the ground. The sword's supported by the feet here. And then as you release the feet, the sword's going to kind of spring up. You're cutting down. Really feel that the sword is released from the feet. Release from the feet. Nice and grounded. Really allows it to settle in. That, and then go. And then go. 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 You should feel everything just springs up. Dropping down. Springs up, dropping down. Good, right? Good, just do the same thing on the left side. So again, first just switching over to the left. In this case, because we don't change the hand with the sword, just keep the left hand, the sword's a little bit closer to the body, and the right hand just drops a little bit lower to just fit this left side into the body. So the same movement, just dropping back, cutting in. And also again, you can play with coming back into the kamae as well, but just make the kamae nice and comfortable in the body. Same movement, come into the back, dropping in. Into the back, dropping in. And then just let the sword pass right through the spine. Just working with the left side cut. That's it. Great. Nice. Good, and then working in two directions, so Zengo Giri. So you're going to cut first on the right side, and then just allow the sword to come above the head, cutting on the left. So working in 180 degrees. Yeah, that's really placing the feet nice and calmly. Keeping the weight underneath as you take. That's it. Good. Okay, good. Just play with one thing, which is that is this contrast when you've got the grip here, nice and strong, and then as you go into the rotation, just feel how much you can really release through the hands. So the key in this is to really feel that movement's coming from the ground. So the tendency here is if I grip too hard, everything starts to come up into these kind of positions. It starts to twist out. So really feel that motion can go directly to the hip and then down. So you want to feel that the hands really start to release through the movement. I think as soon as the sword goes into movement, hands release. You're not releasing the sword, but you're releasing the grip. You're going into a really mobile. Focus, mobile. Focus, mobile. And the grip's also going to reflect that. Okay, great. We'll come to the second saburi. So it involves 2 steps. From the right side, you're going to step back, raise the sword at the top of the head, and then cutting in forward with the right side. So this is 3 movements. You're going to come back into the kamae each time. So it goes 1 up to the top, 2 with the right side, and then 3 just coming back into the kamae. Stepping back, dropping in with the cut, and then back into the kamae. Good. Wow. Okay, great. Just play with this transition as you go into the cut. So you want to really find a position here where you're in a kamae where you can just sink the weight into the front and drop the body in this way. So try and remove all these extra movements. So there's all these tendencies here to sort of pull the arms back, all these kind of things. Just get to that position and really feel that you're nice and calm. And then you can just press the weight into the front foot and drop the weight forward. Yeah, it's quite a nice position because everything's high. Yeah, it's just going to drop in. But just feel that again, it's going to really come from the hips. Find that position, just like it's settled in. And then the hips. Drop in this way. Just kind of get all those extra movements out. Just want everything to drop in. That's it, good. Nice. Okay, good. We're just working in two directions. So you've got this move, it's the same, dropping into the right side. Now from here, what you can do is just rotate over to the left side, raise up straight into the 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒈. Cutting down. So you have a nice spiraling movement which raises up. And let it come from the ground and raise up. Cut in. So each time you want to find this position, straight into it, cut in. Spiraling up. Dropping in, spiraling up, drop in. That's it. Good. Okay, good. Let's go to the full 𝒂𝒏. So in this case, again, just working with the 𝒂𝒏 straight down the line. And this one, it's just one step through. And then another. Just do as many as you can in that point. So just working with a straight line cut. And one step each time. So one step, one cut. Yeah, the lights up. In this case, we need to find the spine again. So you're really opening the shoulders up, stepping through. And if you imagine a line down the mat in front of you, on the floor in front of you, it's going to pass the hips straight down that line.
Nice, nice, nice. Roland. Oh, I can't hear. Roland, you're muted.
Yes.
There you go. Great.
I thought you can read my lips, but it isn't. Is it here the same feeling that you walk through the front feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you think in this case, think like a wheel. So as you go to this, think of the movement coming from underneath and from the back. So I think about a kind of wheel going underneath the body this way, which is hard because everything goes to the front this way. So this is why finding the back is also quite useful. It's kind of feeling, and then feeling that as the sword goes up, the energy kind of sinking back and down. So you've got this kind of wheel that moves you forward as you go through, and yet just sink into the foot each time this way.
Okay. Great.
Got it?
Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Nice. That's great. Good. Good. Okay, good. So we'll go into a yokomen cover just to make the distinction really clear. So in here, just play with this here. You've got the shomanuchi, which passes straight through the spine, straight down the line, and the hips are in this kind of position. And then what you want to do is just start to create a diagonal line through the cut. So it's very, very subtle, not too much, but just let the sword drop in here. And that movement's going to come from the hip, so you're slightly opening now the back hip. So rather than this kind of movement, you're doing this very, very slightly. So just play with it. You've got a straight line cut, which is a shomanuchi, straight line, and then just working with a slight diagonal. So it's just slightly wedging through the back hip. You can also do this on both sides. Just making this distinction really clear. Shoman, yokomen. So. And just allow that change to come from the hip work. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Great. Good. Okay, good. So using this diagonal yokomen cut, working out again with a one step each time. So what you're going to do now, then the tip is going to go around circularly around the back of the head. The key with this move is the right hand is going to go to the top of the head and just bring it down this way. You can work with one step after the other and repeat it, or you can just do one cut at a time. Again, the key is now the hip work. It's going to be slightly more open at the end. And you want to impart a circular movement into the tip of the sword from the center. Good. Yeah, so just imagine in this case, you've got this position. Imagine in this the hip is kicking the sword out of the way. So what you want to do is impart that movement from the hip work and basically sacrifice the movement away from the hand. So the big tendency here is to start to do something with the arms. This comes out and then this comes out. But just feel from the center, especially from the back hip in this case, shifting across. And then you just impart that movement into the hand. The hands are also softening as you go through it. And again, just feel that movement really connected from the hips. There's a slight sense of kicking the sword out of the way into the raise.
I have a complicated question to this.
Yeah, sure, great.
At the moment, I have a funny idea of doing it because to make the sport high,
yeah,
I use the hips.
Yeah.
And then if it's high, then the hips are too far away. So I back and then I do the hips twice.
Okay, yeah. So what you want to do is if you work this, try it as one movement. So if you try this kind of smoothly, and if you do this also on the spot, then what you want to feel that as this hip comes in, as the back hip comes in, feel that movement enters that foot. So rather than this hip work kind of coming across the body like this, find that it goes here, it goes into the ground this way. So as you take the step, try and feel that hip work goes here, this way. And then the back hip comes in. So find that basically it's like feel that the hips are separated. So they're really kind of isolated movements, even though they're connected. You want the feeling that each hip's basically working independently. But just play with it again.
So is this the idea to make the sport high? You use the back hip, and to cut it, you always use the other hip, maybe.
They're working together, but you want to basically have, like you say, you want the sense like the front hip, the back hip comes in, and then the front hip's gonna slightly open out to the back. So you've got the two hips kind of, they're working together, but predominantly the flexion in that first movement in the raise is coming from the back hip that way, and then the cut is coming there from that now back hip. So it's just about making those connections in the body. So
okay, thanks for the idea.
playing with it, good. Good. Ooh. Okay, good. We'll just do one more, really focus on hip work. So in this case, we go to this move we did in the second one. So raising up to the top here, and then you're going to cut in, and then from here, let the back hip come through. You take a step, and this time you go into a thrust. So you go back one, cut in two, and then from the back hip coming through. And in this case, there's a thrusting movement. So this is a yokomen. And and then into a ski this way. So. Good. Nice. Oh. Yeah, and again, the key thing, just to let that movement really come from the hips. You've got this position. Let the hips really engage the sword through. So the sword's going to be sent in an arc through the hip this way, and then coming through this way too. Just again, trying to get the feeling that the hips are really in the direction into the sword. Good. Nice. Yeah, okay. The last one we'll do is just opening up this last movement. So again, this is the same, and then from here you're going to step in and come up here with the hand. So the left hand now releases, the right hand stays where it is, and you step through, let it really come through the body this way. Everything stays low, and it's going to come up through in a spiral again from the ground. So you got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Very good. Okay, we'll stop there. Very good. Hey, domo arigato.
Arigato.
You good? There we go.